Welcome to New York's #2 sports show. The Yankees take 2 of 3 from the Colorado Rockies. Would have liked for the sweep. Not surprised that they took 2 out of 3. But the big story, and it just continues, and it's just amazing, is Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge is now at 51 home runs. He homers 3 times in this series, and he is now on pace for 63 home runs. And I think if he stays healthy, he's going to break the record, the American League record that he set 2 seasons ago. We're witnessing something that we've really never seen before and may never see again. So it's just incredible. Like, there aren't really words to describe it. And really, with what Juan Soto is doing as well, I mean, Soto, he's been on a home run binge too. It's kind of interesting. Like, he actually hasn't been like racking up the hits necessarily. It's been a lot of home runs. And so for Juan Soto, he now has 37 homers and 95 RBIs. Aaron Judge, 51 homers, 122 RBIs, batting .333 with an OPS that is over 1,200. Just crazy. Like, it's like beyond video game numbers. Like, that doesn't even do it justice. And then when you factor in Giancarlo Stanton, and the 3 of them went back to back to back in game 3, which was pretty fun in the 7th inning. Stanton, he's having a really nice season. You know, obviously he was out for, what was it, probably a month and a half or so. And for him, he has 23 homers, 57 RBIs, 245 batting average, and an 800 flat OPS. So a really, really good season for Giancarlo Stanton as far as, you know, in the power department. And, you know, his batting average is just about league average, maybe even slightly above. And the OPS 800, you know, obviously Stanton, you know, in his earlier years, he's, you know, clearly surpassing that. But, hey, the last couple of seasons for Stanton, mostly due to injuries, were not great. So it's awesome to see him right in the middle of that lineup, and he's a very, very important piece right behind Judge, because teams they should be looking to pitch around him. Okay, you want to do that, then you're going to have to face Stanton. And if he's going to be a threat, then it really adds to that lineup big time. Also, Gleyber Torres, he is finding some success at the leadoff spot. So, like I keep on saying, is it really the ideal situation? Probably not. But I think that Gleyber has found a home. He's working quality at bats, getting on base, and hey, he even hit a 3-run homer to really seal things in that rubber match that the Yankees won, to give the Yankees a, you know, commanding lead in, what was it, I guess the 8th inning. So yeah, in this series, Yankees got good pitching from Carlos Rodón in game 1, goes 6 shutout innings. Game 2, Will Warren struggled. And so that's, you know, in some ways, as far as like the blame game for this series, Will Warren is someone that really is not going to be at all a relied upon piece. So while it's frustrating in terms of the grand scheme of things, it's not like, okay, that's him not performing is not an issue as it pertains to the 2024 Yankees. Marcus Stroman with an okay outing in game 3, good enough to get the win. He went 5 innings, gave up 3 runs, and the Yankees offense really came through there. I should also mention Old Timers Day was game 2. So that was kind of more of the highlight of the day for Yankee fans who went to the stadium because, you know, celebrating the 2019 15th year anniversary. But yeah, the game itself was pretty ugly with a pretty lopsided Rocky win. But this is, you know, look, anything less than winning 2 out of 3 would have been bad. And as I'm recording this, the Yankees are 1 game ahead of the Orioles for the lead in the AL East. 1 game ahead. The Orioles still have to complete their series on Sunday Night Baseball versus the Astros, but they've taken 2 of the first 3. And the way that series was looking, I mean, the Astros won the first game convincingly, and then they were looking to win game 2, and then Anthony Santander hits a grand slam in the 8th inning. Jackson Holiday with a big bases clearing double in game 3. I feel like I'm giving an Oriole Astro series recap. By the way, Please like and subscribe. I would be greatly appreciated. But yeah, the Orioles, they are not going away, and nor should anyone think that they would. So that AL East race is going to go down to the wire. And so, yeah, as it stands right now, the Yankees are 1 game ahead of Baltimore, and either going into the Yankees' next series with the Washington Nationals, either they will be 1 up on the loss side on Baltimore or 2 up on the loss side. And then as far as the Major League Baseball standings, Yankees are 1 game back of the Dodgers. Again, way less relevant, but figured I'd mention it because, again, you still have all those teams kind of up top. The Philadelphia Phillies are right there. Milwaukee Brewers, Cleveland Guardians aren't too far behind either. So we'll see what happens as we are in late August. So as far as any transactions, one that was pretty much surprising, and just confirming, Chaz Chisholm Jr. was activated from the IL. Oswald Peraza, as mentioned at the end of the last episode, was sent down. But the Yankees designated Michael Tonkin for assignment. And that in and of itself is maybe slightly surprising. I think I had probably mentioned it on one of the shows previously that there was a chance that, his time would come to an end here just because of the logjam that there was. And look, he hadn't been great recently. His future success probably, if I had to guess, would have been somewhat limited, but he really did a great job for this team, really more so when the team was struggling too. June, July, he was like kind of a top 3, top 4 piece in this pen. So he gets designated for assignment, and they bring up Phil Bickford. So that's also kind of the weird thing. It's like, you have the Tim Mayza spot, and which kind of feels like that one is up for grabs. In less than a week, you're going to have an extra roster spot open up as well. And then Phil Bickford, it's like, we're not talking Ron Marinaccio. We're not talking Scott Efros. We're not talking Lou Trevino, and so on and so forth. There's others as well. Ian Hamilton. So that's kind of the thing, is that it felt like there was probably another roster spot, i.e. Mayza. Not that Mayza's been awful by any means. Not that he doesn't have a bit of a decent track record in this league. But Tonkin does go. Yeah. And I would expect him to latch on elsewhere. I really would. He's a decent arm that I think can be useful for another team. So I would be very surprised if he somehow lands back with the Yankees organization. I think we'll see that another team was interested in him. So yeah, Michael Tonkin goes, and he did a nice job. I think it's a little bit unfair. And then also, I don't think Phil Bickford is really going to be long for this roster anyway. No offense to him. And you know what? He's had some good moments in up in the majors with the Dodgers. His numbers in AAA are decent. I think here's what I'll say. It's 2 things. The Yankees really did need a pitch, someone that was available, because the Yankees bullpen was taxed after Game 2. What Will Warren did, the Yankees had to use most of the pen. It's that. Plus the fact I think they knew that Tonkin, with other pitchers being activated soon, that Tonkin's time here was going to be done eventually. May as well just do it here. So that's what that is. So anyway, Rocks Yankees at Yankee Stadium, finishing off the homestand after the Yankees took 2 of 3 from the Cleveland Guardians. And just to run through the players real quick, what stinks is Oswaldo Cabrera again. His role is just, when Jazz is back, Oswaldo just doesn't really have a role. That's too bad. I wish there was a way that they could give him some more first base reps. And what I'll also say, DJ LeMahieu was originally in the starting lineup for Game 1, but kind of a freak incident happens where he takes the ball to the face, just while just doing some drills before the game on the field, taking some grounders. And yeah, so he takes the ball to the face. So he ended up starting Game 3. So he's okay. But yeah, he was in the original lineup, but they had to take him out and put Ben Rice in against the lefty Kyle Freeland for the Rockies. So yeah, LeMahieu, it's just tough over at first base. And so Oswaldo, we've seen him sparingly at first base. So I kind of would want him to just get an opportunity there. But really what's going to happen is Anthony Rizzo is going to come back at some point. And while I'm looking forward to it, let's not forget that he was not good and has not been good offensively or defensively for a while now. It wasn't his fault. It was, another weird situation last year, that collision with Tatis, and he just hasn't been the same since. So I hope that he's going to be good. I think that he will be an improvement over what LeMay provides you, likely over what Rice provides you. But again, I mean, maybe I'm not as excited as others. It all sounds great, but I just don't know how good it'll be. But yeah, Gleyber, good stuff from him. Soto, like I said, a lot of home runs, and just an amazing season. That if Judge wasn't doing what he was doing, Soto would be in the MVP conversation. Aaron Judge, unbelievable. Like I said, 51 home runs after a very poor first month of the season. It is just truly, truly insane what he is doing. And like I said, he's on pace for 63 home runs, which would break the 62 home run mark that he had a couple seasons ago. So the Judge watch is on, and will be pretty fun to watch here over the last month or so of the season. Giancarlo Stanton, he has home runs in 3 straight games. So he's looking good. He didn't play game 2. So, yeah, he homered in the last game against Cleveland, and then games 1 and 3 against Colorado. So, yeah, that's good stuff. For Jazz Chisholm, not a great series. He was decent in game 2, had a couple of hits, had an RBI, but not much to speak of in games 1 and 3. Jose Trevino and Austin was, I think, the catcher position did not do a whole lot offensively, either of them. And Trevino did start 2 of the 3 games. And so that's kind of the thing where versus lefties, it's going to mostly be Trevino. Versus righties, it's mostly going to be Wells. So, and the ironic thing is that the Nationals, I believe they're lining up 3 left-handed starters. And so I'm still kind of hoping that it'll be Wells 2 of 3, but it may not be. We'll see what happens. Anthony Volpe, not a whole lot for Volpe this series. Didn't really stand out necessarily, good or bad, but I don't think Volpe's stats were much. Alex Verdugo, who came to the series really cold, actually had a pretty nice series. He homers in game 2, his first homer in a while. And then he had a couple hits in game 3. So look, Verdugo, it's been really, really bad, but maybe somehow this is the beginning of him getting going. I mean, he should never be this bad. Let's put it that way. And then Ben Rice, Rice-LeMahieu combo, I think probably not terrible. I think LeMahieu, a couple of hits in game 3, and Rice, I know how to hit in game 1. And in game 2, we'll see when we get there. But yeah, all in all, not terrible. And then on the, Trent Grisham, his one start, he did nothing. In place of Stanton, we didn't see we barely saw Oswaldo Cabrera this series. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. So anyway, Carlos Rodón, he goes 6 shutout innings, improves to 14-8, 4 hits, 1 walk, and 5 strikeouts. And the good thing there was that if you remember, Rodón was not very good against the Detroit Tigers the last start. So for Rodón, you didn't want to see him get into a rut. It seems like he hasn't, and so that's really good. Kyle Freeland pitched pretty well for Colorado. 6 2/3 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, 2 of them earned, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts. But he allows a couple of homers. A couple of solo shots to Stanton and Judge kind of get the best of him, and the Yankee pitching comes through. So Yankees don't score until the 4th, and it was Stanton that got on the board. 22nd home run of the season for Giancarlo. Like I said, really looking good. And it's good to see that, now we can put the injury, really, to me, fully behind him. As far as, the point I'm trying to make is if he now goes into a cold spell, it really is kind of totally independent of the injury. So I was worried about that. He's going to come back. He's not going to look right. He's been fine. He hasn't been amazing, but he's been more than fine, and now the homers are coming too. So 1-0 Yankees there. Then they score again in the 5th, and it was fortunate. It really was, where the Yankees have 2 on and 2 out. Runners on second and third. And Gleyber Torres reaches on an error by third baseman Ryan McMahon. It kind of took a little bit of a weird hop on him, but it's a play he should have made. It's an error. Anthony Volpe scores, and the Yankees take a 2-0 lead. Then in the 6th, Judge does it again. Judge hits his 49th homer of the year. It's a 3-0 Yankee lead. It's off of Kyle Freeland. And then in the 7th, 8th, and 9th, it would be Luke Weaver in the 7th, Jake Cousins in the 8th, and Clay Holmes in the 9th. And what we're seeing now is that Cousins now is in that high leverage situation where Holmes is still the 9th inning guy. I don't feel good about it, but that's what it is. And then the other 3 at this point are Weaver, Cousins, and Canely. Those are kind of your main 4 right now. Of course, with the lefties, mainly Tim Hill, there could be situations where he kind of factors in, but he's really not quite part of that mix. But the big thing is that that was kind of supposed to maybe be Mark Leiter Jr., but now it's Cousins. And of course, it's been a while since Tonkin had even really been kind of in high leverage. So yeah, Cousins, deservedly so, is the one that is getting these big opportunities. Mark Leiter Jr. is now lower in the pecking order. Things can change, but that's what it is. So Luke Weaver, who's really had a fantastic season, he goes pitches a scoreless 7th inning. Jake Cousins in the 8th goes 1-2-3 with a couple of strikeouts. Then the 9th, Clay Holmes. He was looking to make it a little bit interesting. There was a leadoff walk. There was some hard hit balls. There was a strikeout that really should have been a walk, honestly, with Jacob Stallings. But a Nolan Jones lineup ends it. So for Clay, little shaky, but he had a 3-0 lead, and he gets his 27th save of the season. So let's go to game 2. Again, this was Old Timers Day, where the Yankees celebrated that 2009 World Series, which unfortunately is the last World Series that the Yankees have had. Hopefully things will change soon on that front, but we'll see. But yeah, Will Warren, it's been more bad than good in his, 4 or so major league starts this season. And he gets pretty much shelved, as it turns out. And a lot of it was 2-out damage. He could have gotten out of there, and he was, showing his strikeout stuff. You see the potential of Will Warren, but this is definitely someone that's not ready for the major leagues, not even close. He's kind of there by necessity. He goes 3 innings, allows 7 hits, 6 runs, 5 of those earned, 1 walk, and 6 strikeouts. And he was going up against another young pitcher in Bradley Blaylock, right-hander. He does a decent job. 5 1/3 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 4 walks, and 5 strikeouts. And what helped Blaylock is the fact that the Rockies staked him to a pretty early, an early lead that only grew, where the Rockies eventually take a 6-0 lead in the 3rd inning. That probably settles Blaylock down even more. And so he did a pretty nice job. As I had kind of alluded to earlier, Stanton out, Grisham in, and that was really the only – and then Wells in, Trevino out. So, yeah, in this one, a 2-out RBI single for Ryan McMahon gives the Rockies a 1-0 lead. Then in the 2nd, it would be a sac fly by Nolan Jones, makes it 2-0. And then the 3rd is where things just really kind of get out of hand. An RBI single by Brenton Doyle makes it 3-0, but then a couple of outs. And within this inning, just a very sloppy inning in general, whether it be there was a couple of balks called on Will Warren. There was a catcher's interference, which kind of extended the inning against Austin Wells. So, yeah, it wasn't great. And I should amend what I said earlier. Ben Rice did go 0 for 4, 2 strikeouts. So I take back what I said. He did have the one hit off of the lefty in game 1, but yeah, for Rice, it's been a struggle for him mainly. Anyway, going back to the 3rd inning, with 2 out, former Yankee prospect Jake Cave with a 2-run single, with an RBI single, makes it 4-0, and then Nolan Jones really kind of lays the hammer down with a 2-run double, makes it 6-0 Colorado. In the 3rd, Yankees would score a run. Chaz Chisholm Jr. going to keep on pronouncing that one incorrectly, I guess. So he gets a double. 60th double of the season combined with the Marlins and the Yankees. Cuts it to 6-1. So you're thinking maybe the Yankees have a little bit of a chance. Mark Leiter Jr. comes on in the 4th, and that just speaks to where his role is right now, right? Coming in down by 5 in the 4th inning. Pitches a scoreless 4th. Then the bottom of the 4th, Verdugo gets off to Schneid. He had an 0 – he was 0 for his last 21. He homers, 11th homer of the season, makes it 6-2 at this point. But then Leiter Jr. allows a home run to Toglia. So 21st homer of the season for him makes it 7-2. So that kind of takes the juice away, where the Yankees were kind of maybe looking to get some momentum, and it kind of ends right there. Tim Meza finishes out that 5th. Then at the top of the 6th, Michael Tonkin goes 1-2-3. But in the 7th, he does allow a 2-run homer to Jake Cave, his 7th homer of the year. So Cave, where I think Yankee fans are fond of Jake Cave because he provided, in essence, Louis Seal. that Twins-Yankees trade in, 2018 or so? But Cave has himself a day. He was a triple shy of the cycle. He went 4 for 5 with a homer and 3 RBIs, so a really good day for him. Makes it 9-2. Tim Hill would come on and pitch an inning and a third. He's done a nice, steady job for the Yankees. And then Tommy Kahnle comes on in the ninth inning, and that's not what you want. Down 9-2, using Tommy Kahnle as one of your best relievers, not ideal, and part of the reason why they brought Bickford into the mix and Tonkin, who had pitched and not so well, they got rid of him. So let's go to the rubber match. So Yankees, Rockies, let's see who wins it. It's the Yankees. And 5 homers for the Yankees in this one. Marcus Stroman goes 5 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 3 walks, and 5 strikeouts. He improves his record to 9-6. Again, not a great outing from him, but also the defense kind of let him down a little bit. So the line is probably a little bit worse than what was reality. And then the lefty, Austin Gomber, was okay. 6 innings, 6 hits, 4 earned runs, 3 walks, and 4 strikeouts for him. So let's jump into Game 3 with Stanton back in the lineup and Trevino as well against the lefty. Rockies take the lead in the first, and you get a Jazz error, which was really a play that LeMahieu, in my mind, kind of more messed up at first. It was a great try by Jazz, but DJ, on the hop, couldn't really – he couldn't catch it, and it goes by him, allowing the runner to go to third. So it's first and third. You get an RBI ground out by Doyle, makes it 1-0. Then you do get a legitimate error by Chisholm later in the inning. Ultimately, Stroman only allows 1 run, but a lot of pitches were thrown. I think well over 30. But bottom of the first, who is it that ties it right up? As he normally homers in the first more than really any other inning, it's Aaron Judge, number 50. And so he's one of 5 players to have at least 3 50 home run seasons, the others being McGwire, Sosa, Babe Ruth, and Alex Rodriguez. Incredible company and not many. Again, only 4 others have ever done it. Like Barry Bonds isn't even on that list. It's really amazing. So 2-1 Yankees at that point. Let's go to the bottom of the second where the Yankees get a 2-out rally. And who is it? Verdugo and LeMahieu with singles. Players that have been really, really bad. They get it done at the bottom of the order. Then Gleyber Torres knocks Verdugo in the RBI single, and then Juan Soto knocks LeMahieu in with an RBI single, makes it 4-1 Yankees. Top of the fourth, you have a situation where Drew Romo gets an RBI single to cut it to 4-2. Then in the fifth, a little 2-out situation, Doyle walk, Ryan McMahon, RBI double to make it 4-3. So Stroman couldn't quite hold it down, but enough where the Yankees had the lead, enough where he ends up actually qualifying and getting the win. A scary moment in the bottom of the fifth where Giancarlo Stanton is up, first and second with 1 out. And he ends up hitting a bloop single. But the scary thing is his bat breaks. And the home plate up was Nick Marley. And Marley, unfortunately, got the brunt of this where the barrel of the bat kind of ricochets and hits Marley in the neck area. It was a long delay. They had to, put him on a cart, kind of stabilize his neck. And apparently he has a concussion. I think he's going to be okay, sounds like, and thank God for that. But yeah, really a scary moment. And you could tell Stanton was a bit shaken up by it. But he, would leave the game. There was a bit of a delay. They had to kind of rejigger the umpires. I think Marvin Hudson ended up being the home plate ump. But there was probably about a 15-minute delay there. They come out of that delay and basically sort of 1 out. Chisholm Jr. strikes out and Volpe grounds out. So actually, kind of a big spot that they didn't come through there. But Kahnle, 1, 2, 3, 6th inning to keep it 4-3. Then in the 7th, it's a combination of Kahnle and Cousins, throwing 1 out for Kahnle, 2 for Cousins there. And then in the 7th, the Yankees, things get exciting. Jeff Criswell comes in, the righty. And Juan Soto homers with 1 out, his 37th home of the year. Aaron Judge homers, again, back-to-back homers. And, Giancarlo Stanton. He homers. They go back-to-back-to-back. The first time the Yankees have gone back-to-back-to-back since, I believe it was 2020, where it was Brett Gardner, DJ LeMahieu, and Luke Voigt. So that makes it 7-3. Luke Weaver pitches the 8th, does a nice job there. And then new pitcher for the Rockies, Lucas Gilbreth. And it would be a 3-run homer for Gleyber Torres after a couple of singles by Verdugo and LeMahieu. So again, those two making contributions in this game, and Gleyber with a nice 4 RBI day for him. So his average moves up to 241. Yankees take that 10-3 lead, and then Tim Mazur would throw a scoreless ninth inning. So the Yankees win the series. They improve to 77-54. Again, one game currently out of the Baltimore Orioles. So let's do a quick preview of the next series, which will be between the Yankees and the Nationals. So the Washington Nationals, they are not going to make the playoffs. They sold a bit at the deadline, but they've been all right lately. I think this is a team that you definitely should not sleep on. I guess in some ways, even though Soto's been back to Washington, he's going back to where it began, where he won a World Series. So I'm sure that'll be a little bit of a storyline for Juan Soto. But the matchups will be a lot of lefties in this series. 3 for the Nationals, 2 for the Yankees as far as starting pitchers go. Nestor Cortez versus Mitchell Parker in Game 1. Game 2 is definitely heavily slanted in favor of the Yankees, where it'll be Garrett Cole versus Patrick Corbin. Like, that's a game where, you kind of have to win. Corbin is the only reason, honestly, why Patrick Corbin is still pitching in the major leagues is because of the contract that the Nationals gave him. So, yeah, that is one where I won't be upset if they lose that one. And then Game 3 will be between Carlos Rodón and Mackenzie Gore. So the way I see it, win that Game 2, find a way to split Games 1 and 3, walk out of there winning 2 of 3. That's really what it comes down to. I'm not looking for a sweep, definitely not. 2 out of 3 is what you are hoping for. And so, just a quick little 3-game road trip, and then they will head back home to take on the St. Louis Cardinals. So a pretty lengthy stretch here against National League opponents. But, we'll see what happens. But, again, Aaron Judge, just soak it in, enjoy it, because, again, we have not seen this previously, and I don't know if we're going to see this again. So this is a player who is just totally locked in, virtually unstoppable, and it's been a lot of fun. He hits the 50 home run mark. He's at 51. Where does it go from here? We'll find out.